In this episode of Lori's Maine Inspirations, we're on the Bristol Road by Damerscott, and we're visiting the Sinclair Gallery run by Marnie Sinclair. And it's in this very cute little outbuilding, very small but full of art, ranging from what she describes as whimsical to political to erotic. And there's just so many things in here. It's a small space, but it's jam full of art made out of so many different materials, many of them recycled. And much of what Marnie does has an environmental theme to it. She's going to tell us about her love for the environment, her concern about the degradation, and also just her hopefulness, right, that she wants to get through her art. So we're going to look at all of this. We're going to go from the octopus now to the loon. For years, my family's been coming to Maine, and my wife loves the place, and it's inspired a lot of her alcohol inks art. And now that she's retired and doing her art full-time, we're looking for more inspirations. And so we're creating this series to share that search and just to share the things we love about Maine while we go look for more things to love. A visit to the Sinclair Gallery got off to a great start.
Hello, who are you? Hello, look at you. I've never been welcomed by a doggo before. Oh, look at you. Come here, come here.
After such a welcome, we were pleased to meet the gallery owner and artist, Marnie Sinclair, and she invited us in to look at her quaint little gallery. I'll be honest, at first glance, I didn't think there'd be that much to see, but boy, was I wrong.
Okay, so this is a variety of different styles, and I sort of have three styles. I've got a kind of a whimsical style, which is what these animals are. These are all made out of bronze. And then I've got a political side, which is what a lot of these pieces, like this is a piece about the disintegration of the coral reefs and the Great Barrier Reef, for instance, what's going on down there. And these all have stories. The political pieces have stories. That one over there is the wild tobacco, and that's all about the adaptation and the magic in plants. And then here's a whimsical rooster, for instance. Or these wires are also that's part of the whole whimsical piece. And then these are habitats that go along with. This is a tidal pool habitat. So, what else can I show you here? This is a grouper and a moray eel. And the grouper is out in the open water, and the moray, of course, is in these cracks and crevices around the shallow water. And this guy sees the fish and goes out and agitates the water so the grouper stands by, and then it goes back and it drives the schools of fish out, and the grouper grabs them, and then this guy comes out and they share the fish. So it's a perfect symbiotic relationship that they have. So interesting, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, who knew?
It's amazing.
This is sort of the magic of nature, and this is camouflage and how effective that is as a survival mode. So this is a sea dragon that its only defense is to float around in the seaweed, and so that's how that survives. And then I got interested in bugs and how they're so interesting, I think, and fascinating. They always look like something that they're not, you know. So this bug is called the Elvis Presley bug right here, and he's got little eyelashes and sort of the Elvis Presley hair. Yeah, the wire sculpture, I think I was trying to get sort of the essence of things. Sometimes it got a little confusing, to say the least, but the idea, it's just fun to work with this electric wire. I just love to learn. I teach myself whatever I need to know to make it happen. So, like with the wire, I just got inspired. I thought it'd be fun to learn how to do wire. So, and because I'm primarily a sculptor, I can see the dimension of things. I can see the back sides of how it would be, as opposed to two-dimensional. And so sometimes it works. I was living on Martha's Vineyard, and I joined this group in 2010 in Boston. They're Boston artists. And we got together and we decided we would make one piece of art a week for 52 weeks. And we would use materials we'd never used before. And then we'd get together once a month to do critiques and support each other. And so what was very cool about this is you're really in the flow, because you never, I used to finish the pieces on Friday and then Friday or Saturday, and then start again on Sunday, trying to figure out how it works. And the muse, it's amazing. The muse is in your brain. I mean, I know it works when you're doing art, but to have it in a design piece, when you're trying to figure out how things should go, and this little voice is saying, no, that stinks, don't do that, just try something else, it'll be much better. And so anyway, we did it, and it was, and I was using electric wire because I was married to an electrician at the time. And then I walked the beaches on Martha's Vineyard, so I had a lot of driftwood. My son-in-law was a lighting designer, and he told me about the theater jokes. And then I was working for an organization and doing research every week on different aspects of environmental degradation and climate change. So I decided I would do these stories about different aspects of climate change, and then make the pieces. The stories always sort of inspired the art. So that's how it all came about. This piece right here is all about, there's a little Y that a spider did here, like Charlotte's Web. And it's all about why we have so much disrespect for nature, and we just sort of comes dead last, and this is the petroleum family, and it's made the same as the octopus and the seal outside. And this is Petro, the mother. Oli is her toddler, and then this is baby and she's made of plastic, and then she's got plastic inside of her as well. And then this is her little skirt, her little outfit, which is a paper bag, which is a plastic bag. And then this is her shawl, is actually made from silk with images of dumps from all over the world. So that's she's got a shawl just sort of wrapped around her.
But what was the inspiration for petroleum here, the petroleum family?
I was in Cambodia with my daughter, visiting my granddaughter, and we were all over the place in various towns, and the trash was just extraordinary, just mountains of trash. And these poor young women carrying these little toddlers and infants and trying to navigate through the trash, and it was really heartbreaking to see. So that's what I sort of came away with, that image. And then I got thinking about when they stopped recycling plastic at a dump in Nobleboro. I just thought, okay, I've got to do something, and might as well make some people make some sculpture as opposed to just ignoring it, So this is all about road runoff, and in Long Island, they did a lot of spraying on this, and then it rained, and all the spray ran into the streets, and then ran into Long Island Sound and killed all of these baby lobsters. There was a huge die-off of baby lobsters. It's in 1999. They were spraying for the mosquitoes. These are the mosquitoes, and then those are the baby lobsters. And that's the rain, and this is the spray, and then running into the water. So I've tried to make the art as appealing as I can, so that people are intrigued enough to at least look at it before they read the stories, because the stories are really kind of creepy sometimes, So that it's all about a balance, And I was trying to make sense of climate change because it's so huge, and And I thought, if I can understand it, and I can make the story simple enough, and then make the art appealing enough so that people aren't freaked out by the whole thing, then hopefully they'll learn what it's all about and care, you know. So I still don't care, but but I care, and that's my whole point is of doing any of this or all of this, really. So
Marnie's concern for the environment shows up in this piece, CO2, which represents carbon emissions coming up from factories into the atmosphere. And all this blue in the gel, that's the carbon, and then these little gels down here are the emissions from the factory. And so it's pretty, it's subtle, it uses all of the materials she was talking about, finding on the beach, and we're really seeing everything kind of coming together here with a message that's very subtle. The thing I really like about Marnie is she's maintaining a sense of humor, an uplifting view, and she's still finding time for the whimsical.
this is it's called I've Seen the Light. This guy. And he's on his knees as a praying mantis.
Did you get it? Praying mantis? Well, let's look at a couple more whimsical things before looking at her outdoor sculptures.
So the starfish has two stomachs, and this is how it opens a shell. It with its arms, it's got these suction cups on its arms, so it pries open the shell, and then the stomach comes right out of the actual stomach comes out of the body, goes into the shell, sucks up the interior food, pulls it back into the body, and then passes it on to the other stomach. It makes your skin crawl, but it's pretty novel, you know. And that I was interested in how those hermit crabs, what's going on inside the shells. I mean, how do they hang on? And it turns out they have this very long appendage of a tail that wraps around the inside of the shell. And then they can lift it all up and carry it along, and then when they outgrow it, they just crawl out and go find another one. It's wild. So this is Seymour plastic, and it's made out of recycled plastic here in Maine that can no longer be recycled. So it's rather than throw it away, I got my neighbors to give me their plastic, and I had plenty, and so I created this creature that is made of plastic and full of plastic. And then this is Stella, the octopus, and she is made the same way. She's collecting plastic, made of plastic, collecting plastic. She's straddling a trash can and collecting her own all the plastic that she sees. Here is the plastic inside also. She's a lot cuter if she's hosed down under the circumstances.
As I said at the beginning, there's a lot to see, from the whimsical to the political, with all the backstories and meanings that go with it. And then, though we didn't talk about it as much, the erotic pieces. So let's just take a couple minutes to enjoy Marnie's art on its own. you'd like to know more about Marnie's art, especially get those backstories that she has for each piece, you can buy a copy of her book, Balance and Imbalance, at marniesinclair.net. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Lori's Maine Inspirations. In our next episode, we'll go to Wiscasset. But rather than have a teaser of that, I'm just going to let this really great adaptation of Amazing Grace by Jason Shaw play out.